Metal Slug!
Next is the first Metal Slug game. I first became aware of Metal Slug on, of all places, a Mortal Kombat website known as the Combat Pavilion. They hosted a lot of fan animations and one included some of the Metal Slug cast. Then at one point we had what was labelled the Big Ass Emulator disc for our original Xbox. It had Neo Geo Pocket Games on it, which is where I played about 10 minutes of Metal Slug First Mission. But my true introduction was back in 2007 when I got the Metal Slug Anthology for the PS2, which is what I'm playing this on. I don't know if this is true everywhere in the UK, but our closest Tesco was selling triple box sets of PS2 games, so it also came with the King of Fighters 11 and, for some reason, Air Raid 3. One more fun fact for you, this game was the very first I recorded for the show, back in May 2018. There's quite a lot of story that isn't mentioned in game, so I'm going to try and sum it up as quick as I can. It's the year 2028. From the beginning of the 21st century, the regular army, that's us, have been at war with the Rebellion, led by General Morden. After suffering a devastating loss to the Rebellion 2 years before the game's events, the regular army make up for their inferior numbers by developing a new tank, the Metal Slug. After building up a supply of Metal Slugs for the next 2 years in preparation for a massive assault, the Rebellion manages to steal many of the caches. With their great numbers and now many of the Metal Slugs in their possession, the Rebellion has the means for a decisive victory. Lieutenant Marco Rossi and Tama Roving in 2-player gathers up whatever remaining troops they have to launch a final counterattack on the Rebellion to recover the Metal Slugs and hopefully bring them down. So due to there being 2 endings, I have a 1-player run and a 2-player run, dragging long-suffering player 2 into the warzone with me. As usual, I'll focus on the 2-player run in this video. Mission 1, Marco and Tama are dropped into a forest. Our basic guns have infinite ammo and we start every life with 10 bombs. We can also aim in 8 directions. I'm not going to point out most of my deaths because everything is a one-hit kill, there are loads. Not long in we get the first gun upgrade and one of the greatest video game announcers with
Heavy Machine Gun!
It's the most basic extra weapon, being just a rapid shot, but it's just so fun to just mow through people with. We also find our first prisoners of war. By freeing them we get a thank you and an item. One gives me the
Shotgun!
which just obliterates enemy soldiers. Now I can stop explaining things and talk about the game's graphics, specifically how great the animations are. They drew so many sprites for every character's slightest movements, it's crazy in 1996. Not to mention all the different death animations for all the different weapons. It's thanks to those that the enemy soldiers are some of the most memorable and expressive video game enemies there are. We reach water, where there's a load of huts that we just obliterate. Hopefully these were the enemies. We eventually run into our first Metal Slug. It takes quite a few hits and has unlimited rapid fire. With it we take down this helicopter and annihilate another house. It's no wonder the rebels want to steal them, they chew through their own tanks. We climb up to the top of this waterfall and shoot the cover of our first boss, the Tetsuyuki. It's a crashed flying warship that was unfortified by the rebels. It shoots 3 cannonballs out of its cannon, but with me and a Metal Slug and player 2 having a heavy machine gun, it doesn't last long. Mission 2 is in Romberberg City, and we murder the guys waiting on their dinner. Yeah, I know these places or the bosses had names. Mission 1 was in a place called the Villeneuve Mount System. Either that or Metal Slug Wiki is a fucking liar. We go past these electric fences and I get the
Flame Shot!
I don't get to enjoy it long before I'm killed and lose it. I should also mention the knife that you use by pressing the fire button when up close to an enemy. We make our way across these building bridges while shooting the soldiers popping out of the water, and player 2 gets the
Rocket Launcher!
but drowns after a couple shots. We then finally use our bombs while player 2 gets a replacement rocket launcher almost immediately. A couple brave boys are sunbathing on an enemy ship in the open at night while we both have rocket launchers, and we make them pay for their arrogance. After sinking it and just realising in time that I was still on it, I drown myself taking out another boat up close. For the third I decide I'll just hang around up top, but I just can't help myself. I don't drown this time though. We leave the building bridges behind and fight this level's mini-boss, the Mini-Batter. It shoots slowly moving cannonballs I throw myself into while player 2 does most of the damage. We climb up onto the rooftops where I find another Metal Slug. Blow up some planes, how General Morden very quickly passes on board this train. Here we find the real boss, the Hairbuster Ribbets. There's one soldier firing homing missiles from the top. He also fires missiles and drops bombs from the bottom. After taking enough damage, Morden himself comes out and starts firing at us with his bazooka. He takes out a Metal Slug too. We knock him out as the plane explodes, but he's saved by another plane. That's mission 2 complete. Mission 3 is in Käferherd Alley. We spend the first chunk of this level climbing. The parachuting soldiers' shots are so slow we have to help them out in getting us killed. We go up a lift and I fail to jump the gap while player 2 lands on the other side the second I let out my death screen. Player 2 shoots the button to keep this gate raised while I blow up this explosive barrel and eventually the whole thing is wiped out. We climb higher and just barely defeat the men with snowballs. Above them we meet recurring mini-boss Alan O'Neill. He carries a giant minigun and can tank knives, bullets and explosives with his bare skin. He also has a knife for when you're too close for him to shoot you. However, he gets progressively redder as he takes more damage and a simultaneous bomb throw and knife slash finishes him. Now we're at the top of the valley, we can go horizontally again through this snowy forest. We blast our way through this already fucked up base, including their line of 3 tanks. Filling up your tank makes you invincible it seems, as all your allies are shot down from the windows above you. Only destroying the vehicle you're filling up will defeat you. Destroying the entire building at the end there is so satisfying. It also gets us another metal slug. I should point out that player 2 didn't want the metal slugs, I didn't just hoard them all for myself. We go through the forest blowing up some trees and meet the boss, the Tanio. It has 2 cannons and 2 turrets on each side of it and a laser that shoots out quick. The rocket launcher can be a bit unhelpful here as it just refuses to hit the turrets for me. I do manage to destroy the left turret though before player 2 finishes off the boss itself. Mission 4 is in Ridge 256. We interrupt another meal and leave the metal slug behind as we destroy everything left in this ruined manor. We blast out the other side and I jump right into these spikes attached to a tank. After taking it out, we also shoot this tank down from the cliff where it crushes player 2. We shoot down more of these tanks as we get past the rebels' trenches. I get another metal slug and just lay waste to this next area. Nothing lasts forever though and it's destroyed at the end of the area. Already we're at the bosses, Shu and Khan. They're a pair of tanks facing opposite directions, so you're always in danger no matter where you are. With 2 players though, they're pushovers and don't last long. That was a short one, but fun. Mission 5 has us land in Gerhardt City. A civilian escapes from her home as we blow the shit out of it taking out the rebels. I'm fairly certain most of the vehicles we're destroying are civilian too. Someone also left a metal slug outside the post office. Now I can crush the cars of the innocent with ease, but then come the planes that bomb it to death. We're blocked off from the rest of the city by a soldier firing missiles down at us, but we blow up the wall supporting him and keep going forward. They also aimed a metal slug at their next wall so we could take that one down quicker. Not even another shoe could help them as I obliterate everything around me before the wall falls. Past the fleeing dogs is the 5th boss, the Iron Nokana. Of course, my metal slug doesn't last long, and as it lifts itself up to shoot a flame at us, I decided it's a wise idea to run under it and ensure I get incinerated. Once we destroy the flamethrower and free the prisoners of war inside, we get in the finishing shots. Final mission in the Straits of Traven. This is a long one. We're now storming the Rebellion's main base of operations. We got tanks, we got loads of guys just climbing down from the walls, we got loads of guys climbing up from beneath us. One tank manages to take me out by dropping girders on me. We get to the end and Morden blows up the bridge, having us land on a boat. We take turns manning the turret while shooting down planes and parachuting soldiers. We come up against another structure but sink it quickly along with the next one. Then comes the scuba diving soldiers, one of which manages to missile me before the turret takes out the rest of them. We finally make it back to land and go through the last of the infantry before meeting the final boss. It's General Morden in his Haidu. He still has his bazooka and the front of the Haidu has 3 cannons firing homing missiles. With 2 of us, I stand up top and shoot it from the side while player 2 hangs out below and loading on it from underneath. The missiles are easily dodged, but the minigun not so much. He also sometimes just gets fed up and carpet bombs the screen. After surviving more punishment than any other man for a few minutes, my last bomb finishes him off. He falls from the plane and lands with a bloody splat. Final mission complete. We get our final results and then the endings. In 1 player, 1 remaining infantryman throws a paper plane that travels over the remains of his dead friends before flying off into the sky. In 2 player, the same plane is thrown, but instead we get to see the rebels just relaxing and having a good time and chasing innocent civilians from their homes until it reaches still living Morden. He just sits and looks at the sky. After that we are told, peace forever. Yeah, no. Metal Slug is just a really fun 40 minutes, whether you're alone or with a second player. It plays so well and the presentation is so great that I hope this series just keeps getting more main installments. Hopefully this isn't the only one I get to do.